Hey guys, Sean here, way out there, coming to you from Melbourne, Victoria, Australia, where we are in our sixth lockdown because of COVID-19. I've got to say I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I have been down that road before, and it doesn't take very long for those who have ears and eyes to understand that it's a lot of codswallop. Most of it is. So I believe that COVID-19 is a disease that we need to be protected from. There's people dying from it, and there's kids getting it, and not enough's known about it, to be honest, at this point, for anyone to say anything in terms of its validity. I live in a rooming house, which is a house that has 10 rooms, sleeping rooms. It's 130 years old. It's in St Kilda, Victoria, and I think it's been a rooming house for almost as long as it's been built. It seems to be, because back in the day, around I think it was 1870s, this area was not at all gentrified. It's becoming. It was more of a place that you would house people that have just gotten out of prison or hospital because of mental illness, and it remains that way today. I think they've tried to repurpose it over the years, but excuse me, it's been back like this for a few years now, and I'm the caretaker here. I like that because it's about taking care of the overall peace of the house and how it operates and how fluid it is, and it's about the people in it as well, and taking care of them because of their volatile situation. We've been in lockdown now here in Melbourne for 3 weeks after what was supposed to be a flash lockdown. They called it a flash lockdown, and what most people understood that to be was like an overnight thing, or perhaps more a 2 or 3 day thing. We're in our 3rd week of that flash lockdown now, and this is, as I said, it's the 6th lockdown that we've had here in the state of Victoria, and it is starting to really get on some people's nerves. In fact, the majority of us, even me, where it affects my life because I can't socialise, I can't go out and do the things I like to do here in St Kilda, which there is many things that you can do here. But just the isolation from even wanting to go outside and shop, because you're not supposed to. You're supposed to do that under the circumstances where you really have to. Even getting some tobacco is not necessarily considered that essential in Victoria, Melbourne, so it's pretty full on. Anyway, so there's 10 of us that live here, and of late, like, the activity's been, like, for the past few months, probably 6 months, it's been okay. We've sort of had moments where we've been out of lockdowns and people have been able to get out, socialise, or just see family and friends, which isn't happening at the moment, and it hasn't happened for quite some time. So in a place like this where people are in a volatile situation, it becomes, emotions become escalated quite quickly. And as a caretaker for 9 other people, when I would say, with the exception of two others, not including myself, drugs and mental illness aren't so much of an issue. But the remaining people, it's prominent. The government just recently gave people who are on like New Start or getting like payments from the government have released a payment, like an emergency payment, which, you know, most people who lived on the streets and people that live here know about. They don't advertise it, but you know, if you know how to play the government, which a lot of the people here do, you're onto it. So it was $310, like just in their back pocket, and it's interesting to see the cyclic change because of that extra money. People in this situation generally will go and want to feel better because they're sick of feeling like shit. So what makes them feel better? Well, it's generally drugs in this case, or alcohol. But in this case of the house at the moment, it's drugs. So, and it's like ice, because it makes you feel good. I know, I've used that shit. So this is a bit of an observation, just about human nature, if you like, and the human condition, and what we do when we're depressed in situations like this. And with the use of that particular drug, there comes paranoia, which often breeds aggression, and then you end up with people, you know, trying to understand each other without reason or logic, and it just ends up in like, let's do this instead. So that's been going on quite a bit. It's been maybe 5, 6, 7. It's been about a week since that payment came in, and the curve is happening now. Like they're like this past few days has just been absolutely mental here. Just constantly, it's a 24/7 thing, and it's just nice that it's backing off. People are just, you know, and this is where I have limits in terms of calling the authorities when it comes to people like this in this situation. The violent people aren't here for very long. They're just out to other areas which can. Then generally, the time I've been here, people I've had to be instrumental in removing from the house have never become homeless from this point, like directly. They've gone to another place of care for them, which has a roof, excuse me, over their head. They have a bed. They might have the conditions that we have here, but it's still not, you know, on the streets. So that's kind of good. But yeah, it's amazing how COVID, the isolation between people in the house is intense because of this mindset that we've been hammered with for so long, that, you know, social distance and keep yourself away from others and stuff like that. Like it really, it is having an effect. Like, it might sound a bit crazy, but I promise you, it's having an effect on a scale which could be dangerous. You know, these people are volatile. You know, they are ready to take the next step because life isn't all that great for them, if you know what I mean. So I hope it's over soon. I'm not endorsing the idea of getting vaccinated. I know there's many conspiracy theories that go around that sort of thing, and I don't know where I'm at with that at the moment. I may have to get vaccinated to live here, but they can't force me to do anything. They can't force anyone to do anything. But if they start with the people's payments that they get from the government and cutting those off, or reducing those, or replacing those with food stamps, etc., then they're forcing people to have the vaccination. So that's kind of, if it goes there, that's a whole different story. But anyway, I thought I'd just mention this to you. I'm thinking of maybe communicating what goes on here and disseminating it on YouTube. It would make for at least very entertaining viewing, but also educational as well. So I have some plans for that in the future. It would of course either take two things. I mean, I can put cameras up in the house. There's no problems with that. That's quite legitimate in a rooming house to do, as long as you don't access any restricted areas, which are their own bedrooms, toilets, bathrooms, of course, but hallways and communal areas. You can put cameras up there at the front, wherever there is, there's only really those two restricted areas in the house that you can't record. So either that, or just ask each and every one of them that if they're okay, or perhaps not ask, but put it in a way that where you're putting it to them that if they act up again at any point in time, they'll be subject to recording. So that might be like a little bit of a way to prevent it from all happening in the beginning. Anyway, Yoa out there.